Well, good morning, everyone. Let me first of all thank you guys for being here this morning. I want to thank our GBI Director, Vic Reynolds, Attorney General Chris Carr, Lieutenant John Seagroves from the Albany Police Department, and obviously our great First Lady Marty Kemp for being here this morning. As you know, a few weeks ago I joined with these state leaders in Upson County to announce a GBI gang bust of more than 40 violent criminals. And today I have the pleasure to join Director Reynolds, Attorney General Carr, and our brave local law enforcement leaders to announce yet another success story in our coordinated effort to keep Georgians safe and bring an end to human trafficking in our state. When I took office a little over almost 2 years ago, we had a very clear vision for what the GBI could do to get criminals off our streets and to dismantle the gangs that have wreaked havoc in our communities. And having seen this tragedy of human trafficking with our own eyes, my family and I knew that bringing an end to this evil industry had to be a top priority for our administration. That vision guided the creation of the Grace Commission, the GBI's Gang Task Force and Heat Unit, and the Attorney General's Human Trafficking Prosecution Unit. And let me just say, there is no one in this state who has done more to end human trafficking than our First Lady Marty Kemp and the members of the Grace Commission, along with the leaders in this room, and for that we are grateful. We realize that if we pulled our resources together and that if we partnered with federal, state, and local law enforcement like Lieutenant Seagroves, we could build a safer and more secure Georgia for all that call our state home. I'm going to leave the details of today's announcement to Director Reynolds and the rest of the team. They are certainly the experts here, and they've spent quite some time working on this case. But I'll end by just saying this. Today's announcement is precisely why I've been adamant from the start that we have to leverage resources from state government working alongside the General Assembly to support law enforcement officials who are working tirelessly to keep our families safe. Speaker Ralston, Lieutenant Governor Duncan, and the leaders in both chambers have been fantastic partners on this front, providing critical funding and passing bipartisan legislation to support things like the Gang Task Force Unit, the Human Trafficking Prosecution Unit, and helping the Grace Commission crack down on traffickers, but also ensuring that the victims have a voice. It has truly been a team effort from day one, and I could not be more grateful to Marty Kemp, our First Lady, Director Reynolds, Attorney General Carr, and the many local leaders and others in law enforcement that have literally been working around the clock to make today's announcement possible. The teamwork you see on display here today has not always been the norm, and we cannot take it for granted. Working together, we will continue sending a message to criminal gang members, human traffickers, and those that think they are above the law, that they are not, and that we will continue to come after you in this state. We will do whatever it takes until every community is safe, because we love our families, our neighborhoods, and this state. And we value the safety for our kids, our relatives, and our friends and neighbors. Thank you again to the brave men and women who have worked tirelessly to make today possible. Together we will continue to build a safer, stronger, more prosperous state. Thank you, and God bless. I'll now turn it over to Director Reynolds to provide more details on today's announcement. Director.
Thank you, Governor, and good morning. I'm Vic Reynolds, the Director of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Thank you for coming out this morning, and I'll try my best to be very brief. I just wanted to advise you about the circumstances of this particular case. On October the 23rd, 2019, the Albany Police Department requested the investigative assistance of the GBI regarding the commercial sexual exploitation of children in the Albany area, what we refer to as child sex trafficking. On August the 2nd, 2019, the Albany Police Department had received a report regarding the rape and commercial sexual exploitation of a 16-year-old juvenile female victim. The female victim had reported being trafficked during an almost 2-month period of time from June 2019 through August 2019 in Albany, Georgia. The trafficking of the victim actually ended when she was able to escape and run away from her traffickers. During this investigation, it was discovered that the juvenile victim had been posted numerous times on a specific website as an adult female. The juvenile victim was advertised for the purposes of sexual interaction in exchange for money. She was advertised by multiple members of the Inglewood Family Gang criminal street gang. The Inglewood Family Gang is a subset of the Bloods. Both the Bloods and the Inglewood Family Gang are national street gangs, both of which have a presence in the state of Georgia. Members of this gang made arrangements for the juvenile to have sexual encounters with numerous men over a 2-month period of time in exchange for money. These arrangements are what is known on the street as plays, P-L-A-Y-S, plays. The child sex trafficking occurred in multiple locations within Albany, Georgia, to include hotels, motels, vehicles, and residences. Additional members of the street gang participated in the trafficking by providing locations for the plays, transportation to the plays, and by being on-site facilitators while the victim was trafficked for sexual purposes. This investigation revealed that the proceeds from that child sex trafficking act were being used to finance the gang and to finance the gang's illegal activities. I'm very pleased to announce this morning that we believe the 8 gang members involved in the trafficking of this female have now all been arrested and are all been placed in custody in Dougherty County under a number of charges. Those charges range from RICO violations, violations of the Criminal Street Gang Act in Georgia, the trafficking of persons for sexual servitude, and aggravated sodomy. Let me just also state in conclusion that I believe this case is a great example of what Governor Kemp envisioned when he set the GBI on the mission of dismantling criminal street gangs and attacking the human trafficking scourge in our state. The locals in Albany requested GBI assistance, and we began working hand in hand with those locals. As you'll hear in just a moment, the Attorney General's Human Trafficking Prosecution Unit became involved and began working hand in hand with the local prosecutors. And most importantly, both law enforcement and these prosecutors now work together to make sure that justice will be achieved in this case. I also want to echo the governor's comments and thank the men and women who have worked tirelessly on this case for over a year. They're the true heroes. I would like nothing more than to be able to bring them up here and introduce them to you, but based on what they do day in and day out, we can't do that. But needless to say, they're the ones who have made this case happen. I would also like to give thanks to the prosecutors who we know will push this case over the finish line. And finally, a message to the gang members, those individuals who believe they can sell another human being for a profit in the state of Georgia. I want you to know again, as I've said before, unequivocally and categorically, the GBI will pursue you wherever you are in this state. We're committed to this fight, and the GBI will not rest, along with the rest of these people you see today, until both criminal street gangs and human trafficking rings are stopped and dismantled in this great state. It's my pleasure now to call on a tremendous partner of the GBI in this battle against gangs and human trafficking, the Attorney General of the state of Georgia, Mr. Chris Carr.
Director Reynolds, thank you so much. Governor and First Lady Kemp, it is an honor to be here with you today as well, and Lieutenant Seagrove, it's an honor to be with you. Let me start also by commending, congratulating, and thanking our friends, including the men and women in law enforcement who led and who were involved in this very important investigation. I too am grateful for what you do for our state each and every day, and I'm appreciative for the role that you have played in this particular case. I said many, many times that we have excellent partners at the GBI. Director Reynolds has been a DA and a police officer, and his agents are dedicated to the mission. They are true professionals. They share the belief that we have greater successes in our state when we together work in partnership with federal, state, and local law enforcement. And that is our mentality as well behind every case that we work with them and with others in law enforcement. Safety and security are fundamental human needs. So much so, in fact, that in the second paragraph of our state's Constitution, it says that the protection of person and property is the paramount duty of government. Not just some persons, all persons, specifically those who are the most vulnerable in our society, such as victims of domestic minor sex trafficking. This issue is important to our governor and First Lady. It's important to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. It's important to me and to the Attorney General's office. And it's important to the people of Georgia. Even before Governor Kemp was elected, he talked about fighting gangs and ending human trafficking. He created the Georgia Gang Task Force to disrupt and dismantle organized gang activity in our state, and he supported the creation of our Human Trafficking Prosecutions Unit to rescue victims and put buyers and traffickers behind bars. And with today's announcement, we are seeing very clearly what we all know to be true, that there is a strong nexus between gangs and human trafficking. Now, looking forward, we will ensure that justice is done in this case. We look forward to presenting these investigative findings in a court of law to ensure the strongest possible sentences against those that perpetrated these crimes. It is because of cases like this that we now have our Human Trafficking Prosecutions Unit. Protecting our citizens, particularly our children, matters deeply to us. And we stand together today to send a message to those who are buying and selling our children. We are just getting started. We are looking for you, and we'll find you. Our network grows stronger by the day, and the passion that we have for ensuring Georgia is the greatest and safest state in the nation far outweighs your greed and your callous disregard for humanity, particularly in regard to our children. Justice awaits you, and we will see to it that justice is exactly what you get. So I again thank all who aided in this particular case. Specifically want to thank our Human Trafficking Prosecution Unit members who will be carrying out this important prosecution. And with that, I will turn it over to Lieutenant Seagraves.
I am Lieutenant John Seagraves with the Albany Police Department. I want to thank each and every one of y'all today for the cooperation, the assistance, the help that y'all provided our department in this investigation. When it started last year, this was something that you don't really believe will be in what you consider small town, and it is. We ask that even other agencies with small towns take a closer look at what's going on. You never know where you're going to find these type of crimes. They're not limited to huge metropolitan areas. It can be small town. These gangs are in many towns, and they can create this type of atmosphere there. So we're here, we're trying to protect each and every one of the children in our state. Lieutenant Tony Moore, Sergeant Jerry Franklin, Investigator Timothy Harvey, they were instrumental in helping get this. We're very pleased and thankful that the GBI is there to assist us in these type of things. Governor Kemp, the Attorney General's office, everybody has a huge part, and it has made our job so much easier to do. We just want to thank each and every one of these cooperating agencies for all their help and what they've done for us. Thank you. Governor Kemp.